At the beginning of the story in 2010, CIA agents Matthew and Emily are preparing for a dangerous mission. They have to infiltrate the house of a European terrorist named Gore, who is currently celebrating his son's 8th birthday party. Their objective is to steal the powerful ICS key that controls important global systems. Before leaving for the mission, Emily secretly takes a pregnancy test while Matthew tells her to hurry up and get ready. When they arrive at Gore's mansion, Emily insists that Matthew leave his gun inside the car because children are present at the party, and she does not want innocent people getting hurt if shooting starts. Their boss Chuck instructs them to pretend to be a wealthy French weapons-dealing couple. As they walk inside holding hands, Chuck immediately notices chemistry between them and warns that sending them together may have been a mistake. Emily brushes it off by saying they are only acting for the mission. Inside the mansion, Emily sprays a chemical on her hand, and when Gore kisses it, his fingerprints are captured while his voice is secretly recorded in Emily's watch. Guided by Chuck, Matthew and Emily reach Gore's office, use the fingerprints and voice sample to unlock the safe, and successfully steal the ICS key. But the moment the safe opens, a silent alarm goes off and armed guards surround them. A violent gunfight begins, but the two agents manage to kill the attackers and escape. Afterward, Chuck sends them to a secret location where MI6 agent Baron Andrews, Emily's ex-boyfriend, waits with the private jet. Chuck warns them not to reveal anything about the key because nobody can be trusted. Baron greets Emily warmly but behaves strangely toward Matthew, making it obvious that the two men dislike each other. Soon the plane takes off, and believing the mission is complete, Matthew suggests celebrating with champagne. Emily refuses to drink, making Matthew suspicious, and she finally reveals that she is pregnant. Matthew is shocked at first but happily says he would love to start a family with her. Their emotional moment is interrupted when Emily suddenly feels sick and rushes toward the bathroom, only to be told by a flight attendant that it is broken, which feels suspicious on an 11-hour flight. Emily silently signals Matthew, and suddenly the flight attendant pulls out a gun demanding the ICS key. Matthew distracts him by throwing the key into the air, giving Emily the chance to attack and disarm him. More attackers appear and chaos erupts inside the plane. During the fight, one attacker reloads his gun and tries to shoot, but Matthew shoves him, causing the bullet to miss and strike the pilot instead. The aircraft immediately loses control and starts crashing toward the mountains. The attacker grabs the last parachute and the key, but before escaping, the plane collides with a mountain and he is sucked out of the aircraft. With the jet moments away from exploding, Matthew gives the last parachute to Emily and tells her to protect herself and the baby. Emily refuses to leave him behind, wraps herself around him, opens the parachute, and the two survive together. After landing safely, they decide that living as agents is impossible anymore. Since the world will assume they died in the crash, they choose to disappear forever and begin a peaceful new life away from everyone. After dropping the kids at school, Emily and Matt secretly watch them through binoculars like real spies. After observing for a while, Emily noticed that Alice was once again with the same boy. Matt felt uncomfortable spying on their own children and told Emily to let them live their lives, but Emily refused to stop. She pointed out that the two were holding hands and had even kissed. Just then Alice noticed them watching and angrily confronted them, asking what they were doing there. Embarrassed after being caught, Emily and Matt quietly drove away. That night Emily complained about Alice's behavior, saying her daughter never listened to her and acted like every typical teenager. While talking, she noticed Alice's bag and saw constant notifications appearing on her laptop. Emily tried to control herself, but eventually picked up the laptop. She attempted to unlock it with a password but failed. At that moment Matt walked in and questioned what she was doing. He explained that this exact behavior was why Alice kept getting angry with her. Emily insisted that Alice had lied about studying and had gone somewhere else instead. Even then Matt tried stopping her from opening the laptop. Suddenly a sticker on the laptop slipped off, revealing a clue. Emily entered the password, "Mom sucks," and the laptop unlocked. Seeing that made her furious. After reading the messages, she discovered that Alice was planning to attend an event called Chemical Apocalypse. When Emily mentioned the name aloud, Leo explained that it was a dangerous club party filled with drugs and alcohol. Hearing this, Emily and Matt tracked Alice's phone and reached the club. Inside, they found Alice dancing in the VIP section. Emily immediately walked over and ordered her to come home right away. Some boys nearby started mocking Emily and Matt by calling them old people. Things escalated when one of the boys grabbed Alice's hand to stop her from leaving. Emily instantly lost her temper, grabbed the boy by the throat, and smashed his head against the wall. A huge fight broke out. Matt joined Emily, and together they destroyed the entire gang within minutes, including their leader. However, they soon realized someone had recorded the fight on video. Matt quickly snatched the phone and deleted the footage. On the way home, they admitted to Alice that they had discovered everything through her laptop, and as punishment she was grounded for several days. Furious, Alice shouted that she would choose a college so far away that she would never have to see them again. Emily and Matt both yelled at her after hearing that. Alice then accused them of being liars and demanded to know how they had learned to fight so professionally. Emily awkwardly claimed that they had only taken a few taekwondo classes. Alice became even more irritated and sarcastically asked if a few classes could really make someone fight like that. Later, Emily confessed to Matt that she missed her old spy life. Matt reminded her that they had left everything behind for their family. Joking around, the two started playfully fighting each other like in their old days. Meanwhile, Alice argued with Leo for revealing her location. But Leo lied and claimed he had not told their parents anything, even though he was secretly happy that she got caught. The next morning, their former boss Chuck suddenly arrived at their house. Matt was shocked and asked how he had found them. Chuck explained that the video of their club fight had gone viral online. Emily quickly told him to come inside, but Chuck said there was no time and immediately got to the point. He revealed that Emily's ex-boyfriend Baron had betrayed them and was now working with Gore to track them down. Chuck warned that if he could find them so easily, Gore probably already knew their location too. Emily could not understand why anyone would still be searching for them after all these years. Chuck then revealed that the ICS key had never been recovered from the plane crash, so Gore believed they still had it. Before they could react further, a sniper suddenly shot Chuck in the neck. At the same time, multiple armed men surrounded the house and opened fire. Luckily, the children were still at school. Emily and Matt quickly hid inside the house before realizing the attackers could also target their kids. They rushed toward the garage and attached something to a car's accelerator, causing it to smash through the garage door and crash into the attacker's vehicle. Using the distraction, Emily and Matt escaped in another car while the gunmen chased them. During the escape, Emily worried about how they would prove they no longer had the ICS key. Matt nervously admitted something, and Emily instantly realized what he meant. Years earlier, Matt had secretly hidden the ICS key at Emily's mother's house because the security there was extremely strong. While the attackers kept chasing them, Matt built a small explosive using Diet Coke and Mentos and threw it into the enemy vehicle, causing the driver to lose control and crash into a truck. After escaping the danger, Emily and Matt rushed to the school and picked up the confused children, who could not understand why they were suddenly running away. Without explaining anything, the family headed straight to the airport. During the trip, the kids asked why they were suddenly going to England. Emily finally admitted that they were going to visit their grandmother. Alice exploded in anger after learning that her grandmother was actually alive because Emily had always claimed she was dead. Matt tried calming everyone down while Emily considered finally telling the children the truth, though Matt suggested waiting a little longer. The next day, the family arrived in London using fake passports. From there, they took a bus to a parking lot. While getting off, Matt noticed a suspicious man and quietly signaled Emily. As they stepped off the bus, Emily intentionally bumped into the man and smoothly stole his car keys before secretly passing them to Matt. Moments later, Matt drove up in the stolen car and casually told the children that they had rented it and needed to leave quickly. But they had no idea that one of Gore's men was also inside the bus at that very moment, secretly sending their location to his boss. Through the airport camera system, Baron also discovered that they had returned. He said he had been searching for the ICS key for 15 years and immediately ordered his team to track them down. He specifically told his assistant to keep an eye on the children because they would definitely make some kind of mistake. Meanwhile, inside the car, Matt and Emily collected both kids' phones and Emily immediately snapped the SIM cards in half. Suddenly the car ran out of fuel. Leo started complaining because he was hungry, so they stopped at a nearby gas station. While Matt filled the tank, he gave the children some money to buy snacks. Inside the shop, Alice noticed that their passports were fake. She began suspecting that their parents were criminals who had escaped the country with them. Then Alice discovered that Leo's gaming device had internet access. She told him to search the name written on the passport, Jeffrey Baker. After searching, Leo found out that Jeffrey Baker had actually died back in 1952. This made the children even more suspicious of their parents. Outside, while Matt and Emily were discussing what to do next, Gore's men suddenly surrounded the station and Barron also received their location. Before the attack began, Matt lit the fuel hose on fire and used it like a flamethrower against the enemies. Emily grabbed a weapon and started taking them down one after another. The children watched in complete shock as their parents fought like James Bond agents without hesitation. After the fight, Matt quickly rushed the kids back into the car. Emily noticed one of the attackers aiming a gun at them, so she reversed the car at full speed and smashed into him. The children became even more terrified. Alice demanded to know who those men were, why they were attacking them, and why her parents had just run someone over. By now she was convinced her parents were terrorists. At that moment Barron's convoy appeared ahead of them. The moment he spotted their car, he ordered the driver to turn around and chase them. However, Matt shot the chain of a nearby truck, causing massive pipes to crash onto the road and block it completely. He then shot the truck's tire, twisting the vehicle sideways and creating a huge roadblock. Furious, Barron realized they had escaped again. Inside the car, the children kept demanding answers. Finally, Matt admitted the truth and revealed that both he and Emily were former CIA agents. Leo became excited and joked that his dad could now beat up every father at school. Matt jokingly replied that he probably could, just not all at once. Even Alice seemed impressed by the revelation. However, Emily scolded the kids for going online. Leo explained that he had only searched using his gaming device. Hearing that, Matt grabbed the device and threw it onto the roof of a moving truck, saying Leo already played too many violent games anyway. Leo sarcastically replied that at least he only played games instead of doing real violence like his parents. Meanwhile, Barron investigated the gas station and discovered from one attacker's tattoo that Gore's men were also involved. The next morning, Matt brought the family to Emily's mother's mansion. Since Emily and her mother had not spoken in years, Matt offered to handle the conversation first. The children were stunned by the gigantic mansion and wondered if they belonged to some royal family. Emily entered the gate password, and the moment they walked inside, gunshots echoed through the property. Their grandmother Ginny was casually testing her aim on a bird. The children met their grandmother for the first time, and Emily discovered that Matt had secretly been sending Ginny family photos for years. When Leo asked if he could hug her, Ginny coldly replied that they did not do hugs there, and instead told him to pick up the dead bird. Inside, the mansion looked even more luxurious. Matt wanted to retrieve the ICS key quickly and leave, but Ginny insisted they stay for a while. Soon a man named Nigel entered the room, revealed as Ginny's boyfriend. The two openly kissed in front of everyone, leaving the family awkwardly surprised. Matt asked Nigel to show the children around the house while he spoke privately with Ginny. Elsewhere, Barron traced Leo's discarded gaming device and realized they had tricked him. Soon his assistant discovered the stolen car had entered a massive mansion belonging to Ginny, a legendary former MI6 agent. Barron explained they would need special authorization to search the property. While reading Ginny's file, he also discovered that Emily was her daughter, though he secretly kept this information to himself. Inside the mansion, Nigel showed the children his spy gadgets and proudly explained that he was training to become a secret agent too. Alice found it all boring and walked outside instead. Downstairs, Matt admitted to Ginny that he had hidden the ICS key somewhere inside her property years ago. Ginny became furious after hearing this and accused him of bringing danger directly to her home. Emily then exploded emotionally at her mother, saying Ginny had always been selfish and had never truly cared for her. She reminded her that she had been sent away alone to America for studies, and the moment Emily became pregnant, she promised herself she would never raise her children the way Ginny had raised her. Ginny coldly replied by asking what benefit Emily had gained from raising her children differently because even her own daughter seemed to hate her. Deep inside, Emily felt her mother's words were true. Standing nearby, Alice watched her mother looking emotional and suddenly felt guilty, realizing she had been a terrible daughter. Soon Matt and Emily left to retrieve the hidden ICS key while Alice quietly approached her grandmother and told her not to say things like that because she did not actually hate her mother. Smiling softly, Ginny explained that no child truly hates their parents. They only get angry sometimes, and admitted that Emily was already a far better mother than she had ever been. Suddenly, armed mercenaries blasted through the mansion gates and stormed inside the compound. Completely unaware of the attack, Matt led Emily into an old wine cellar where he had hidden the ICS key 15 years earlier. Just then they heard helicopters outside and instantly realized the mansion was under attack. They rushed back inside through a side entrance and found Ginny and Nigel tied up. Emily quickly untied her mother while Matt ran with her to find the children. In the main hall they discovered Leo and Alice being held hostage by heavily armed men. Matt and Emily immediately understood they could not fight so many enemies at once. To save their children, Matt admitted that the ICS key was indeed with them and promised to hand it over if the children were released. At that moment a shocking face appeared before them. Chuck. Seeing him alive completely stunned them. Chuck revealed that Baron had done nothing wrong and that the gunshot and blood from before had all been fake. After the plane crash years ago, Chuck had taken the blame for the failed mission and lost his entire career inside the agency. Now he wanted revenge along with the ICS key. Chuck took the key and ordered his hacker to verify it. Meanwhile the guards checked on Ginny, believing she was still tied up. Seizing the opportunity, Ginny pulled out a hidden tranquilizer gun and started knocking out soldiers one after another. When more attackers arrived, she fought them using knives and kitchen tools. During the chaos, Nigel got shot. In another room the enemies became distracted, allowing Matt and Emily to attack and eliminate several gunmen. However, Chuck and his elite men continued aiming weapons at the children. Just as Matt and Emily stopped fighting to protect them, someone attacked from behind and knocked both of them unconscious. When they finally woke up, Ginny was standing nearby, but it was already too late. Chuck and his team had kidnapped the children and escaped in a helicopter. They checked the CCTV footage but could not clearly see the helicopter registration number. Then Matt noticed Leo secretly giving a thumbs up toward the camera. He instantly realized Leo was pointing at his fitness tracker ring, which could be tracked through GPS. Matt quickly logged into the account and discovered the children's location inside an art museum. That same night Matt and Emily dressed in suits and headed toward the museum. Security was extremely tight, so they left their weapons outside and sneaked in quietly. Inside, Chuck demanded an enormous amount of money from Gore in exchange for the ICS key. Gore became furious because he believed Chuck had betrayed him and ordered his men to secure the key at any cost. Meanwhile, Chuck took the buyers to the rooftop and instructed his hacker to shut down the entire power grid of London. The terrifying power of the ICS key was that it could hack almost any system. Within seconds the entire city went dark, including the museum itself. Down below, Matt and Emily realized Chuck was showing off the key's abilities and guessed he must be on the rooftop because it offered the perfect view. They noticed some of Gore's men entering an elevator and secretly followed them upward. On the rooftop, Chuck proudly demonstrated even more power by showing that they could even disable the massive sea barrier protecting London from flooding. As the barrier slowly began lowering, panic spread through the Navy Control Center. At the top floor, Matt and Emily were stopped by armed guards, but after an intense fight they managed to take down everyone blocking their path. The buyers were deeply impressed by the demonstration, and one of them finally agreed to purchase the key for $50 million. At that moment Baron arrived with his own team. Matt demanded to know how he had found them, and Baron replied that tracking international fugitives was literally his job. Emily begged him not to arrest them because their children were still in danger. Baron then revealed he already knew Chuck was the true mastermind and admitted that Matt and Emily had actually protected the key from falling into the wrong hands. Instead of arresting them, he offered to help. Together they stormed Chuck's auction area while Chuck escaped toward a boat with the kidnapped children. Gore's men suddenly cornered Matt and Emily demanding the key, but laser sights appeared on the enemies' faces. Ginny had arrived with a sniper rifle aimed directly at them. Terrified, Gore's men surrendered immediately. Matt and Emily grabbed motorcycles and began chasing Chuck's boat while Gore's backup team chased them on bikes. The couple split up to avoid being surrounded. Matt used his incredible driving skills to lose his pursuers while Emily cleverly caused the man chasing her to crash before jumping onto a speedboat. Soon Matt joined her and together they closed in on Chuck. Meanwhile, Chuck ordered his hacker to escape with the key to a safe house. But Nigel, who had been waiting in a truck outside, spotted the hacker and rammed her vehicle off the road. The hacker was knocked unconscious and Nigel recovered the key before contacting Ginny. She urgently instructed him to reactivate the sea barrier, but the nervous Nigel struggled while error messages kept appearing on the screen. At the same time, Matt and Emily finally reached Chuck's boat. They jumped aboard and threw several guards into the water. After calming himself, Nigel finally managed to restart the barrier system. Matt and Emily realized Chuck's boat was heading directly toward a collision. They quickly put life jackets on both children and threw them safely into the water before confronting Chuck together. After overpowering him, they pushed him down inside the boat and jumped into the water themselves at the final second. Chuck's boat slammed directly into the rising barrier and exploded in a massive blast. At last everything was over and the family was finally safe. Matt proudly praised Leo's intelligence while Emily tightly hugged Alice. A little later Ginny arrived, and Emily emotionally hugged her too. After years of conflict, the relationship between mother and daughter was finally healed, and the entire family stood together once again.